With Colonel John Alexander, author of Future War, Winning the War.
Stop shoving it up your nose. We'll stop sending it.
Well, but that's not going to stop. So why don't we legalize it? At least make some money on it.
Amen.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the system is absolutely overwhelmed. We have spent hard dollars in the war on drugs, $500 billion.
And we haven't made a dent.
Have not.
If we legalize it, we control it,
yeah.
crime drops dramatically because you don't have to have these petty robberies for this stuff. People can go in and maybe some kind of clinic and get it administered.
Well, the last figures I saw on that has been some time with it. 80% of crime against property is related to drugs in one way or another. A lot of it, as you said, to provide the folks, and probably 50% of crime against person. So, yeah, you take a huge chunk out of that. But also, I argue, you cannot have a war on drugs and a war on terror simultaneously because drugs are the single biggest funder of the terrorism.
Absolutely. And as long as those two go hand in hand, this is never going to stop. It seems like a simple formula, John. Why can't they fix it?
Well, that gets back to our belief systems and values. And no politician would ever stand up and say, we've got to do exactly what you said, even though it's, a blinding flash of the obvious, and say, we have been overwhelmed. Everything we have tried has not worked. We have these massive intercepts. In July, there were three that were hooked in about 3 days. It picked up 20 tons of cocaine off California. Didn't make a dent. Not a dent. Then we have the Chinese guy in Mexico, pharmaceutical. They arrest this guy, go to his house. Here is $200 million in cash sitting there. Now, fortunately for us, he had already lost $150 million here in Las Vegas. Point is, doesn't make a dent. It makes news, it makes headlines. The barometer for me is availability and street price, and it hasn't wavered in 20 to 30 years.
No, the thing to do, I'm not advocating drugs, but is to legalize it and control it.
Well, you're right, and there's a huge difference between advocating drugs, which we're not, and the other is getting the problem into something that can be controlled, because it is beyond control, and throwing more money at it and, wasting our valuable resources of manpower and whatnot is just not going to help.
In the argument that, people who ought not have used it in the first place are going to use it, no, that's not going to happen.
Nonsense. Already happening. Those that want to. I also happen to think you have a right to be stupid.